Drop the beat. Woo!
Thank you for letting me know that I am muted and that I have said all this stuff off stream. See, I was trying my best not to make it scuff tonight, but nevertheless, still scuff. Welcome back, folks, to the beat drop. Let me refresh all of that so that y'all. It's okay, Gizmo. It's okay. You did. Did you expect anything else? Can I be
Oh no,
honest?
no.
Did you
It can't
expect
be a
anything else?
it can't be a tranquility stream without a little scuffness
You're
going on, you
right.
know?
You're right. It can't be a tranquility stream without a little scuffedness. So, first off, folks, welcome. I'm Captain Jack. I'm one of the casters here, and I'm also the main manager of the Beat Drop, which we have moved into the live space due to you all. So, thank you so much for that. Joined by my co-host Gizmo here, this way. So welcome, Gizmo. First things first, though, want to let you all know what is the Beat Drop. It's basically just a team interview kind of thing, or that's what it used to be. We used to have a thing that we would do pre-recorded on YouTube every season. You can actually go catch those over at youtube.com/OW Tranquility, along with all the matches that you see go on here at the Twitch channel. The entire archive is over there. But you know, it was a little long, was a little boring, so we thought we'd switch things up now that we get to do all this live stuff. We got to see Predicting Tranquility, got to see the Coaches Corner, and now we are here with the new and improved Beat Drop. So let's go ahead, Gizmo, and get this show started, because we're going to be starting off with Amp It Up. We stole it from the Iris podcast because we're the Lucio themed podcast here, so that's our thing. And we're going to be starting off with our favorite match of the week. Now, we're going to go ahead and extend that back into the preseason, because obviously we didn't get to really talk a whole lot about that. So, Gizmo, what was your favorite match of the past couple of weeks at the start of the Tranquility Tournament?
Man, there's so many good matches, Jack. But honestly, it's surprisingly enough, you know, our Transcendence tier always brings a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And our last season champs for Transcendence tier, unfortunately, couldn't pull the wind out last night. But the GDH and I'm losing the name of the other team. There's so many teams now. Celestial Wind. Thank you. I knew it had something to do with gods and stuff. Like at first, Jack, I'm not gonna lie, and I know because you were casting last night, you probably felt the same. It seemed like God Hand just wasn't in it, and then halftime came.
Yeah.
And boom! And I mean, you look across the board at a lot of the matchups from last night. I know one of the teams I coach had the same thing. It just looked like halftime was just what everyone needed. Fortunately, God Hand couldn't finish it, but you know what? They finally woke up, and I think they're like, oh hey, you know what? It's Tranquility time. We need to get back in action, you know.
That's absolutely true. And, listening to them afterwards talk about it was just due to some warm up issues, which important to know, folks, just like in regular sports, esports does require a little bit of that warm up. You go into arcade, you go into some comp with the team, just get the joints loose, get the tracking good. I do it just even when I'm playing by myself. So, but nevertheless, that match was incredibly fun to watch. I know that for me, my favorite match to watch had to have been the Discord tier finals, where we saw SEAL Team Spuds versus the Holy Jalapenos. It was just an absolutely beautiful match to watch, and the clip that I chose right here was absolutely great. SEAL Team didn't walk away with the dub, but dang, talk about ringing the team kill bell with that beautiful 6K between Frosty and Beppo, and just seeing these home teams like constantly going at it. It always just gets my blood pumping at the beginning of the season, because you see that these home teams, they're dedicated and they're continuing to hang in there and just have a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, unfortunately, we can't, cast every match. And there was definitely some really huge matches last night. I think all the finals from the preseason were
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
The only thing bad about the preseason, Jack, the only thing, and it's not the fact that we can't get to everybody. It's just, some teams are still trying to get those last minute members, completed. So there's teams that come in that everyone's just kind of like, oh, this going to be good. So, you'll have some quote unquote underdogs, but are they really underdogs, Jack? I don't think so. It's just they needed that first week, and now that they got the scores run up, it might change the predictions coming in the future.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I know that we kind of got in our minds who we think we're going to see, but I think that a lot of teams so far in the preseason and in this first week of competition have shown that they're going to be a challenge here. I mean, looking at teams like Chrysalis, who, came from last season's Monarch, just completely changing the game with what I believe was a 4-0 victory this week, just absolutely
Oh,
stomping their way
actually, no, it
through.
wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't? What
It
was
was
it?
that it was actually I'm the coach, so it
Oh,
was
was
actually
it
a
the
reverse
opposite?
sweep.
Oh,
It was a reverse sweep. I came in
oh,
at halftime, gave them a nice little speech, and I come back after
slam it right
Monarch's
in.
match, and they're
Okay.
like, "We reverse swept, woo!"
Nice, beautiful. Okay, so 3-2, close enough.
K-Wing
I've
got the
been
right
I've
prediction.
been spending so much time on trying to put this show together that I haven't really gotten to see any of the scores for this week. But nevertheless, it's always exciting to see teams coming out, putting their best on the table to start out. And for those of you that are starting out the season, with an 0-4, or I don't know if we had any forfeits, like one of your members couldn't show up or something like that. Don't worry. All right, it's just the first week of the season. It comes with practice, coaching, VOD reviews, all that jazz, and you just start to grow. We see it every single season. A team that might be struggling at the beginning of the season sometimes can make it all the way to the end and end up being the champion. So, especially with 3 extra weeks in the season now, oh boy, there's plenty of room to grow. Don't even worry about it. But speaking about standing out, we got to start talking about our standout player of the week. So, Gizmo, who did you have your eye on of all the players that we were able to see in the feature matches these last couple of weeks? Who did you have your eye on?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we're going to be interviewing him just a little bit later. But our very own Jeff Bot, man, he was just awesome in that matchup for the finals. I mean, the Qual King's looking good, just proving that he's been just amazing for that organization. That creative shatter he had on second point Hanamura, just taking the TP, meeting them right up there over the archway, and just
Mm-hmm.
slamming them all down. I'm sorry, but that was inspirational beyond belief for my eyes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I was casting that match, and I was like, how is he up there? Wow, how did he get up there and shatter their whole team? What? Just blew my absolute gourd right there. Well, I've got to give some love to our to a transcendence tier matchup that we saw this last week, and that was with Jay Jonas of the Decapitators as they were facing off against Manifest. Jay Jonas, whether it be on the Echo or on the Pharah, just has this kind of fluidity to the way that they play the character as the flex DPS. Personally, I believe that Pharah is definitely one of the most difficult characters to play along with Echo, because you just got to have that kind of silky smooth movement that really makes it work for you. And Jay Jonas, as you saw in that clip right there, just pick after pick. As soon as they swapped over to the Pharah, it was just game over for Manifest. They were just not able to lock that down. So with all that being said, now that we've got a little bit less of the scuffedness out of the way, now we're actually going to get to the part that I know y'all are really looking forward to, and that is the interviews. So first up for this evening, we are going to be bringing in the amazing Pineapple Bro, of which we're going to go ahead and see a Gizmo give him a nice, good old interview. Gizmo, take it away.
All right. Well, Pineapple Bro, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. The game was fun to watch. I had fun watching it, in the waiting room.
Awesome. Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce, your name, your role on the team, and what team you play for, and a little bit more about yourself, because you're not just an Overwatch player after all.
Yeah. I suppose I'm not. I contain multitudes. I'm Pineapple Bro. I play flex support on Lotus. And outside of Overwatch, I'm studying music education and French horn performance.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I play video games and I play instruments.
That's awesome. So let's dive a little more deep into your role specifically. What dragged you to wanting to be a support role? Because I've played tank, I've played DPS, but man, I'll tell you what, support is not one thing I ever look forward to. I'd rather get stunned out the woozah than get dove on.
What drew me to it was I don't know, I just like being a linchpin for the team, and so I started out just playing support very poorly, and then as I got to learn it more and more, I realized flex support I could have potential to do damage and pop off that way, and then also make huge plays healing my team too. So I like the flexibility within the flex support role.
Yeah, you know what, that makes sense, because Cat Jack will agree. Sometimes that third DPS can really be the carry difference in the game. We'll continue on here. You were playing with Valkyrie last season, so what drew you to joining Lotus this season and not continuing with Valkyrie?
Well, I knew I wanted to play in a Discord tier team, and I knew Valkyrie was moving up to Discord, but we went through some changes with our tank line, and we played with this one main tank, Euphoria, on Valkyrie, and I just meshed with him super well, and I wanted to keep going with him, and I don't know, when he left Valkyrie to go to then Meteors, now Lotus, I wanted to go with him because I felt I felt I could do a lot more with that. It just fit. It clicked.
Yeah, hey, trust me, I understand, man. You find those people that you just click with, you really got to move with them. Now, unfortunately, sometimes maybe they really rank up quick and higher than you can, so they're moving to Transcendence and skipping Discord. But it's good that you found someone that you can play with. Well, now, since we were talking about Discord and Harmony, do you see any differences between the two? Are there any similarities so far? I know it's only been 1 week, but I'm sure you've seen some.
The pace of play just steps up a whole lot. In Harmony tier, you can get by straggling behind your Reinhardt shield as you walk across, Eichenwald second point to the castle. That big open space before the door. But in Discord tier, if you're a step behind the shield, that's just gonna get jumped on. And I can imagine Transcendence tier is just gonna. I don't even know how they're gonna punish me for being behind the shield there, but I anticipate it. And I can't wait.
Yeah. Tell you what, them master players definitely find ways. All right. Well, let's take your support now, and let's say what support duo do you enjoy playing with the most? What is the one you like to be on, and who you like to run it with?
Uh, the classic of an Ana and a Brig. With a good Brig, which YB, our main support, is, like, I just feel so safe. And when we're running a monkey with it, I feel like I'm absolutely dominating the team if I can just position well, tell my monkey where I'm standing, and then just obliterate the enemy team through my monkey by keeping him up, and then feel entirely safe. I don't even have to look at a Tracer when she comes at me. I just focus on healing, and I know my team's got my back. And then you also can't go wrong with the Baptiste and a Lucio. That's also, a Reinhardt. Just stay on your Reinhardt. Hope to God you stay alive, and just have fun on the ride.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we're going to start talking about some of the teams you'll be facing here in stage 1, and I want to know, between Ragnarok Fenrir, Chicago Chaos, Gamma Excalibur, and Redact, who do you feel like is going to be the biggest threat to you?
We as a team, we talked about it a bunch, and we came up that Ragnarok was going to be our toughest matchup, and we were a little surprised when last night we 4-0'd them. So I don't want to come off as the ego and super cocky, but like I want more. I'm excited to see what more we can do, and I hope someone can step up. I hear Gamma. I thought they did some good stuff last season, didn't they? I heard rumors on the wind, I think.
Yeah, they played pretty well last season. They weren't as favored as like Ragnarok or Nya and a couple other teams, but they held their own, I would say.
Yeah, I think they could, come up for a good game. I'm down.
Yeah. And you know what though? The other 3 teams we mentioned, they're brand new teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be anyone's guess who else has to play them. So it'll be interesting to, like I was telling Jack at the beginning, it's going to be really interesting to see what these new teams that come in, and it always is. But I got to ask you, what do you think of garden gnomes?
Garden gnomes?
Garden gnomes.
Like the gnomes that you put in your garden?
Yeah.
I don't think of them. I don't know. I'm reminded of Sims, like Sims busting out. You could spam crafting garden gnomes to level 10 and then sell them for like 2,000 simoleons each. I guess they're nifty. There's a market, you can exploit it. So why? What do you think of garden gnomes? Is that like a bait?
Oh, well, no, it's not a bait. We just, like I said, we had some random questions for you, and that was the one we came up with you.
Okay.
For me personally, it's my mom. My mom loves gnomes, period. So she's got gnomes throughout the house. So that would have been my answer. Or,
it's a classic look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we move on to our next interview?
Just that everyone at Lotus is super excited for the rest of the season. We can't wait for next week. We're looking forward to our game against, who is it? Let me check. Redacted. I hope it's good. Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pineapple Bro, for joining us tonight. I'm going to throw it over to Jack, who is with the amazing Lazuli.
Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pineapple Bro and Gizmo. We appreciate you coming out and getting interviewed tonight. And as you can tell, we're keeping a little bit of that BeatDrop flair with the random questions. Just our way of, keeping it a little bit of the old with a little bit of the new. So we'll have a little random questions thrown in there. And like I said in the chat, if you have any questions for those getting interviewed tonight, you could possibly have your question chosen from the chat. I know that when I'm off screen, I'll be looking, and when Gizmo's off screen, he'll be looking. So just type them up there in the chat, and we'll see if we can get you on in here. So Lazuli,
ask me anything.
welcome. Love to have you here, Les.
Yeah, good to be here.
Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself? Again, name, your team that you play for, the role that you play, and then just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm Lazuli, whatever you want. I've heard it a million different ways. I play on Whirlwind Wildcats, the trans-tier aerial felines team. I play his candy DPS. Outside of Overwatch, I'm a baker. I just got hired.
Awesome.
So yeah, I've been pretty busy with that, but it's good. I like it.
Awesome. I know as someone that's getting into culinary myself, baking is one of those perfect sciences. Like if you don't get it just right, everything goes straight down the crapper.
I've ruined a couple batches already. It happens.
It's okay. It happens. You know, sometimes you're just a little bit off, and it makes all the difference. So
do you let it overproof for like an extra 2 minutes, and then it's spilling out the side of the tub?
Yeah, you know, it's rough. It's rough. But we do have some questions for you tonight, Laz. First off, this is the one that's always on my mind. All right, this is the one I'm always thinking about. Lazuli _ Overwatch. It is probably the biggest meme in Tranquility. Really? It is such a big part of, like, every time you're playing, I always see it in the chat. Every time. Sometimes I'm that person putting it in the chat. But I don't have the full scope of where that came from, and I think the folks at home don't either. So why don't you go ahead, give us the DL. Where did Lazuli _ Overwatch come from, and why is it such a big part of who you are?
I think it kind of started ironically.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of like, you know how if you kind of like mess around with your friends or whatever, and you say their full name, right? Like you're like pretending to like get mad at them. You say their full name, but like most people I play with don't know my full name, so they say like at the time it was like my Twitter handle or something. So it's like it's like the essentially calling someone by their whole name, and it's just I don't know. I guess it stuck. I'm not really sure how it happened. I don't know how it started.
Interesting. As a parent, it
actually grew.
Yeah,
it grew a little bit. If you hold on, if you check my like Twitter bio, it's like TF2 Lazuli _ Overwatch _ Valorant _ and then all the games I play, and there's about 12 games on there. It was a funny little gag for a little bit.
Interesting. I'm looking in the chat right now. Greninja said, "Didn't it originate from that feature match you guys had?"
Oh yeah, I think that's when it started in Trank chat. It was when we were like against that one team that was smurfing, and like I freaking widow diffed. I freaking widow diffed. Sorry.
No worries. PG-13 here. You know. We'll
you guys get one of those.
With one. Yeah, we'll let you get away with one.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that's awesome. It's something that I know that is always on my mind. Every time I've seen it, I'm like, okay, I get it that he plays Overwatch, but like, why is it such a big thing? Why is it every single time? Why is it in just about every copy pasta when you're playing? It's just I just had to know, and that's amazing. As a parent, I totally get that. You know, I don't know how many times I say my own last name towards my children, several times a day, probably. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and keep moving on. You know, Lazuli, you've been a part of this community for a while now. You know, Fighting Potatoes, Flying Lions, now Whirlwind Wildcats. I'm not for certain if you've been in any others. That's from the time I've been here. That's just the ones that I've seen thus far.
Those are all the ones I've been on.
All right, so I want to ask, because as this being the first night of the BeatDrop, you know, everybody's kind of new, getting to know a little bit about Tranquility as the seasons get starting. What do you feel makes these home orgs of Tranquility? Because for those of you that don't know, Aerial Feline, Starch Esports, Spicy Inc., like those organizations actually grew out of the Tranquility tournament. That's why they participate every season. That's why they've grown to have teams in every single tier. You know, it just continues to expand. What do you think makes them so special compared to maybe your other competitive orgs that you see in the tier 4 scene?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, Fighting Potatoes was like, or is, I think, the longest running org in Trank right now.
I believe so. Started season 1.
Yeah, that was my first team in season 5, and honestly, I don't think I could have picked a better team to start on that represents like Trank so well. Like that's, I think to me that org, that, you know, group of people, that's like what Trank is really. And I found a lot of similar kind of characteristics in Aerial Felines. So they they really got down what like Trank's about, and I fuck with
I know. It's okay.
I like
it's
it.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did that for my mom today. I got home and I was like telling her about my day, and I just.
No worries.
Sorry.
No worries, man. As I'm. For those of you that don't know, I'm a veteran. I was a sailor in a past life, and believe me, if you've ever seen any of my personal streams, it's 180 degrees what you see on Tranquility or anywhere else.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Totally get it. If you're not used to it, I get that it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and keep going and talk about, you know, as we're talking about, embodying Tranquility and something like that. You are kind of the embodiment of what we strive for here in Tranquility, right? We hope that folks come in, you know, if they're not super skilled, if they're looking to climb, you know, this place is like a positive place to learn and grow and climb through the ranks. And, you know, as we just listed the teams that you played for, you know, starting off season 5 Harmony tier, then Discord tier with Blind Lions, and now you're in Transcendence tier. Like, you have essentially embodied what we strive for here in Tranquility. So what was that? What is it about this community that has helped you kind of grow and improve season to season to get to where you are now?
I think kind of going from tier to tier, I think it's really good for the players who enjoy seeing progress and like self-improvement, at least for me. Like, I think there's a lot of ways you can enjoy Trank, and you don't need to go from season to season. You can stay in Harmony tier your whole time here and have a fucking blast. I'm so sorry.
I need, you know what? That just means I need to get my bleeper. I need to have a bleep button.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna think about it even harder. But yeah, okay. So there's a lot of ways you can join Trank. I think for me, I really enjoyed seeing myself improve from season to season. I think the jump from Harmony to Discord was like my biggest jump. It was like it was probably my biggest growth in Overwatch. And it's because I had, you know, the organized team environment, you know, supportive community. It was made me want to play the game and want to get better. So this is a very good place to do that, I think.
Awesome. All right. Looking here, it looks like we have already received a question from the community. Glitch with 2 C's wants to know how it feels to win the Season 6 All-Star Halftime Among Us.
Yeah. Peak Overwatch. That is nothing. Peak Overwatch is not even playing Overwatch. It's playing Among Us while you're waiting to play more Overwatch. That's... So it was the highlight of my Discord season, honestly.
I casted that match and I could not.
Yeah.
I was just blown away at the fact I'm like, okay, I know we get a 10-minute break, but really?
we were bored, so
hey,
hopped
it's
on
just
the
meant
Among
to be
Us.
a good time. It's just meant to be a good time.
All Stars is like one of my favorite parts of Trank. It's so fun every year.
Oh yeah. You see all the crazy strats come out, and
Mhm.
you know you get to play with folks that you're normally either playing
Yeah.
against or you might have not gotten to play with all
All the cool
season.
people.
So I definitely can enjoy that for certain. So
Yeah.
we are getting close to the end of our time, so
Yeah.
of course I'm not going to let you get away without your silly question. So
Yeah.
Laz, I'm going to give you an elephant. You cannot give it away, and you cannot sell it. What will you do with the elephant?
You know what? I have a pretty decently sized backyard. It's mainly um, unusable. There's too much foliage and stuff. I just let it hang in my backyard. Neighborhood kids wants to come and see an elephant for free.
All
Sure.
right.
I'll. I got. I got a bunch of cats I take care of out there anyway. So,
Oh.
what could an elephant hurt? So I would
Oh,
have
you might
a.
want to zone out the elephant from the cats though. They're
I heard elephants are really gentle, so maybe they'll get
true.
along.
Maybe they pay attention where they're walking. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it
I would
won't
just
be like us
I'll just
walking through the
let it chill.
house, accidentally hitting
Yeah,
a cat's tail or something. So awesome! Thank you so much, Lazuli, for coming. We appreciate you being here. Of course, as
yeah.
you've seen so far, folks, the Twitter handles are right under everyone's name and will be at the end of the show as well. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it
Please
right
follow
on
me.
back over to Gizmo so that we can interview our last person of the evening, and that is the Jeffbot. Gizmo, take it away.
All right, Chefbot. You know what? Our tank legend himself on that massive shatter on Hanamura too. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little introduction to yourself? You know, your name, your team, your role, and anything else you'd like to share.
So I'm Jeff Bott, main tank for the Koala Kings, ex Joey Esports main tank, and I like long walks on the beach. Like romantic candlelight dinners. The whole shebang.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So you know what? You're probably the only one we get to ask this tonight, and that is, how does it feel coming back as a reigning Harmony champion?
I guess it feels good. It feels good because Joey was a combination of people who have known each other for like a year and a half to 2 years. So it was really more of a group of friends that were playing together at a certain point. So being able to finish the team out with a strong win was it was almost like a dream scenario. It was pretty much perfect for the team, and it was a great way to end that season. And credit to Nya, Aphelion, Ragnarok, like all those teams that pushed us because a lot of good Lazulis as well in that division at the time. He was nutty. Like there were so many teams that pushed us, and it's a lot of fun, and it feels good to come out on top out with all those strong teams in the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Let's take your the fact that you were on the Discord chant team, Joey Esports, which is now the Quokka Queens. Uh, you know, what were the reasons why you didn't stay with the Quokka Queens for this season? Decided to jump down to their Harmony team.
I think, as I kind of mentioned in the past, Joey was a group of friends. When Quokka Queens kind of took over, it was a whole new organization. It was a whole new thing. I maybe rushed my main tank like development because I think I was playing in a division that was like a little higher than what I was used to. It was my first tournament on main tank. It was kind of a mess. So me being able to drop back, work on my ball, my Orisa, my monkey, like the tank side didn't work on as much. I think gives me a good chance to develop those characters and be stronger on them versus feeling very stressed in every game.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the Koala Kings now that you're on them. I was looking through the roster for this season. It looked like a lot of the players either aren't returning or moved on to another team. With this new roster, what do you think is going to be for you guys coming up in season 7?
Obviously, Spongy and Navino coming back is big. I've seen Gag play in the past. He's a great player. He's going to be a great flex support. Red Knight is very smart at the game and will be a great main support for us. Same with V. The whole team, Kemi as well, is a great off tank, and we built synergy right off the bat. So I think even though we don't have a lot of people returning, they've moved up because they grinded together in the organization. They got better. A lot of the names that you saw in Koala are also moving up to Quaka, who you just saw before this, whether it be Thai, whether it be Nova. Like, there's just I think that's the only reason the roster flipped. Everyone enjoys playing with each other. It's just the nature of grinding, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said it multiple times. When you build those friendships and stuff, and I'm glad that you've actually taken the time to take this season to improve on your other main tanks, and finding that off tank that really works well. Synergy can be a little bit of a pain, but hey, you know what? We've already seen it in 3 featured matches so far. Because you guys just have been playing awesome in the preseason, and now as a returning champions, you get that first week automatic. And you showed it, man. I mean, you couldn't call it an MTD at all. Both you and was it Boba Cat?
Yes.
I can't remember how to say his name, but you guys were going back and forth at it. So, I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see how you develop, and if you're going to continue to develop not only in that Reinhardt but in the Ball and the Winston and the Orisa areas. But let's talk about it. What are your goals? I mean, I know you said your goals are to improve on those characters, but are there any other goals that you're looking forward to, like maybe team synergy and stuff like that?
I think making a deep run in the playoffs is a goal, especially after our preseason performance. We don't want to drop off, so making a deep run in the playoffs. Obviously, winning it all is everyone's goal, but like, I think just making a deep run, getting as far as we can, pushing ourselves. As long as we're trying, like, I think it's just building that team up, and just with all these new players who maybe haven't played together too much, but all know of each other, getting our styles to all work together. Like you said, the synergy, just getting it working, making good looking Overwatch versus chaos on Ball, really one of the goals.
Awesome. Now, I think this next question might get some people in the chat a little rowdy, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's early in the season, but we're always looking for contenders for MVP. Do you have any thoughts on who might be some good contenders for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to be in the conversation. I think I'm good enough to be in the conversation. I think a lot of our team is also good enough to be in the conversation. Pepper has been playing amazing the first few games. His Somber, he was getting like 5-man EMPs in the preseason, if you saw. I don't remember a lot of the names directly, but almost anyone on flashbacks could get it as well. They're all, Potato is very good. A lot of their players are very good. And then when we played Palm Beach Poggers in the preseason, their Mercy was giving us problems. And I know a main support won't get it, but their movement on Mercy was really good, and it was giving us issues. So just someone to keep an eye out. I forgot the name because I'm really bad with names. I play a lot of people I don't always remember, but whoever was playing Mercy for Palm Beach Poggers in that game, if it's in chat, great. They were nutty.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Anything is possible. I think we've had a support one season get MVP, and Overwatch League proved it very first season. You could be a Zenyatta god and get it. So, but I think you definitely, after we've seen in these couple matches with you guys, it's definitely a possibility that your name's definitely going to be up there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more other ones as well. But, it's still early in the season, like I said. So, but I got to ask you, here's your random question for the night. Are you a hunter or a gatherer?
Oh, a gatherer, probably. I don't think I could ever bring myself to kill an animal, honestly. Like, that's too much. Yeah, gather, 100%, no question.
Hey, you know what? It takes a strong person to admit that they are weak in taking the life of another creature. So kudos to you. Unfortunately, my answer is I've done both. So.
Oh yeah. No. I don't have an issue with it. Just a personal. Yeah. No. Yeah.
But Asto was asking a question in chat, and he wants to know, where do you get your shirts?
This one, I'm pretty sure came in in one of those like promotional clothing boxes. I don't know if I should, say the names, but yeah, one of those is where this one came from. So,
Well,
yeah.
there you have it, Asdo. Just send him a DM in Discord, and he'll let you know what the company's name was. But
Yeah, I mean, please don't send me a DM, Azzo, please.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to throw it back to our amazing Captain Jack. That is going to be it for our interview. So, Jack?
Right. Here we go. Okay, goodness. So first off, thank you so much for dealing with our scuffedness tonight. I'm not a producer, folks. I mean, the beat drop last season, just being able to push 3 buttons was really hard. I'm having to push a lot of buttons. So, first thing I gotta do is I gotta switch things over because during my interview portion, I totally forgot to share any of the amazing clips that Laz ended up giving us because, again, I could not push buttons. So go ahead and enjoy this clip with Lazly_Overwatch right here on the McCree. But first off, we want to say thank you to Pineapple Bro, Laz, and JeffBot for coming out here. Y'all were absolutely amazing. And for those of you that are looking to be part of the action as well, again, just reach out to your GMs or captains, or you can shoot me a DM. We'll get you. The application takes about 5 minutes to fill out. It just gives us a chance to learn a little bit about you and kind of get your schedule so that we know when to slot you in. We actually have all the spots filled up for the first 5 weeks of the beat drop. If that tells you how many folks have already signed up. So if you have not signed up yet, what are you doing? You gotta get yourself in here. You gotta get in here. So thank you so much for being here. Every week is gonna be these interactive podcasts, folks. So if you have questions, I'll be putting out a tweet on Thursday to say who's gonna be coming. So if you have any questions for these folks that you'd like to ask, just put them in the chat right there, and we'll try to see if we can get them here on the podcast for you. So until next time, Gizmo, you got anything else you want to shout out before we wrap things up?
Yeah. First of all, good job, Chrysalis, on getting that reverse sweep. And second of all, guys, also, not only if you want to be an interviewer or interviewee, message Jack if you want to try to do some interviews as well. We're always welcoming new people, man. Because I'm telling you right now, me, Jack, and the others who I'm going to keep secret until they, have their little spotlight on camera. Always welcome, not only with us, but any of the production as well. Maybe, hey, Jack, you might get some production out of this as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for folks on the production team, especially producers. We're definitely always looking for producers, but you're absolutely right, Gizmo. If you have some interviewer skills and would like to be on the beat drop, we have a relatively small team, but we're always looking for new folks to bring in to be able to interview these amazing players. So thank you so much for watching. That's Gizmo. My name's Captain Jack. And we'll see y'all next time.
Let's drop the beat.